How shit-faced is he?
That's fucking funny. Alright, let's just go with this.
Alright.
Just start the fucking shit, G-Man. Just start this. Right now, is it rolling?
It is, but there's some swearing.
Sorry, everybody. Totally sorry. The cameraman should come around and give us the countdown if this thing is live. Probably start in 5 seconds.
Hey, go!
Alright, it's on. Alright. Cut the music!
That was a very chaotic beginning
Oh my god! Did you see how bad that went?
That was just probably
You were
some
not
of the
ready.
comedy.
You were
comedy.
not
That was
ready.
comedy.
Can
That
you just own it?
That was comedy. That was comedy gold.
Can you concede that you...
I'm gonna. We were the song that was supposed to be playing in the background was supposed to be Thunderstruck.
Number truck.
It would have been Lumbertruck.
Oh my gosh.
However, that was the song that we heard upstairs,
Unbelievable.
and we were on a completely different AC/DC album downstairs. Just comedy gold. Comedy gold.
Oh my gosh, it was pretty funny.
So,
I put it on you though, just so everybody's
yeah,
clear.
that's fine.
It's a regular
Yeah,
night. I appreciate that you're wearing a vest tonight, Mal.
I wear a vest nearly every time we do these
I
shows
got one on tonight.
because I was told up class,
Yeah,
uptown.
pretty soon we're gonna go
These
back to
are-
our formal flannels. The cold weather will be here, and
I actually ordered a flannel especially for this show.
did you?
Yes, I did.
That is
It comes in
fantastic.
tomorrow.
Oh, excited! I'm excited. And so over the next probably I don't know, fill in the blank number of episodes, but definitely a few. You may suspect that those guys just recorded these all on 1 or 2 nights. And for a little while, we are trying to bank some episodes because the COVID-19 thing, seems to be getting a little more strength behind it. We're up here in the Northeast, which is definitely feeling it, and we believe that it's happening. And my house is tested every week. I know that you're in a pretty safe, consistent spot. So we're not trying to run in the face of anything.
Yeah, we're not pushing our luck. But
Trying not to.
But in the same sense of it, we want to make sure that there's some content going out.
Well, and trying to keep living all at
And
the
keep
same
living.
time. Do a little of everything, but acknowledge what's happening.
So, as my esteemed friend has said, this won't say how many episodes, but we've done a couple of episodes already.
Yeah, January, early February, something like that's going to make a year. We're doing 2 a week. We got to be in the 20s for sure, especially when we consider the bonus episodes.
I don't know.
So, it might be snowing where you guys are, where we're right now when it's released versus where we are right now when it's being filmed. It's probably 65 degrees out. It's early November here in northern New England.
Indian summer, is that what they call it?
Yeah, I think it's first people's summer, Mal.
All right.
Can we at least,
First
pay attention to what's happening around us?
First people summer.
This guy's over here with Indian, and then, of course, we'd have to ask a few clarifying questions, which we won't do, because that would be really...
Inappropriate.
Inappropriate? Not okay? So we can go with, Mel. It's definitely fall with a summer or a nice late spring feel to it.
Vibe.
Vibe?
Vibe.
It's like a Pontiac.
So, we're having a regular episode, and because I've been here for the last couple of hours, and we've
Look what website I got.
he's got the random org up, but you said there's
Duh.
going to be something a little different this time
Oh, well,
around.
there is going to be something a little different, but it's not going to include anything out of the ordinary for random.org.
All right.
So we know the drill. About
Well-
300 bottles of whiskey in this place, and we're opening them by random number count.
And I believe it's time to spin one up.
Should we tell Flash the good news?
That they're not numbered?
Flash, they're not numbered still. All right, here we go. We're going to generate this number. Let's see what we got. Oh, so this is interesting because this is a number I think we've had before. So I'm going to be curious because we had a circumstance on video, Mal.
Where the
With
counting
a
was
number, the count was just rubbish. We said that 11 across, it's really 15. We wound up at some bottle. We should have been at a much different bottle. It was a good review. It was a nice bottle to try. But this time I think we're going to go to see what bottle we'd really wind up at if we had bottle number 55. So we thought originally it was 45 plus 10.
No, you did. I have no idea any of these numbers.
Certainly
I
were double checking my math.
Oh, yes, I was. Out and down. Checked everything.
Yeah, and just went with it because it was wrong. So let's see.
As far as I know.
We got 15, not 11,
Yeah. Okay.
across the top.
Take your word for it.
15 more here. Every bottle is there. 30. 15, but one bottle is missing.
45, 44.
44. Plus 10,
Would be 54.
so we need 11 across the bottom.
Correct.
All right, here we go. 4 in this bay only, folks. 4. 7 complete bottles in this bay.
That's 11.
That's 11 plus 32, right? No, this is where we go wrong. 15, 30, 45 minus 1 is 44 plus 11. 44 plus 11.
That would be 55.
That's the one, everybody. It's this bottle right here. It's this bottle, but in this bay. This is exciting. Oh!
At least we know how to pronounce it.
Somewhere in the pronunciation is as if somebody couldn't pronounce it.
That's correct.
And especially if you knew how to pronounce it and they pronounced it, you could pronounce them as if they were a woodland sprite, but of the less bright. They would be a Glenmorangie.
Glenmorangie. Glenmorangie. So this is what the
Oh my God, that was funny.
the Glenmorangie Allta.
Oh, I gotta have a beer. So, all right, this is good. This is good. This is the Glenmorangie Allta. This is part of their private edition series. And now we've discussed their private edition versus their Legends.
Yes.
And their Legends series at Glenmorangie, the Legends tend to be a duty-free only.
Yes.
And one of the ways that will just give it away visually is it comes in a full liter, because you're buying this generally internationally. So, and internationally, whiskey is sold by the liter.
Yes.
And it's even still priced by the liter, but here obviously you pay less than the liter cost because it's 3/4 of a liter.
$7.50.
So, there we go, gotta get it in. I don't even think that's where it belonged. Oh no, right there. So the Glenmorangie Allta is a private edition, which means it's more commonly available. You don't have to travel in an international sense. This is the 10th one of their private editions. And so just so we can be clear, the To Sail is a private edition. The Milchon, which we tried, which was that very sweet with the candy striper coloration, that was a private edition. And one more private edition is the we'll talk about that. The Spios. So Glenmorangie, this is their 10th one since they've been doing this. This is the Allta. Let's see what they say. Created with our own wild yeast. So again, fermentation is the process of some sort of sugars being converted to alcohol, and that's done via the process of fermentation, which is one of the big players in that process is the yeast. And as a former, sort of a pretty big sort of homebrew guy, had a homebrew business, home wine and beer making supplies. The type of yeast, yeast itself can be carried on through generations. For you sourdough bread makers will know you'll keep your yeast alive for quite a period of time. And yeast will take on flavors themselves and will be a major contributor to the outcome. So, created with our own wild yeast. Glenmorangie Allta. Any chance you'd read that?
I pronounce it as Allta.
Any other words you can see?
No, it's too small.
It was a good guess. I was pointing at the word Allta, and it was a very small version of that word. Glenmorangie Allta is a single malt Scotch whiskey created with the yeast that grows wild on our own barley fields near the distillery. for an enchantingly rich and fruity taste. No age statement. Want to guess on alcohol, Mel? It's a private edition. It's the 10th one. Certainly being promoted as a local product with their own yeast.
42.
Glenmorangie Allta is the 10th release in our award-winning private edition series, marrying biscuit notes with hints of baking bread,
42.
mandarin orange, and butter candy. This uniquely rich, fruity whiskey will delight Scotch whiskey aficionados. So we have this
Answer to life.
baking whiskey. What did you say?
Answer to life.
Number 42.
Yeah.
This is number 10.
Okay.
We have this baking whiskey. We have this baking
Just a
whiskey.
reminder, you asked me what the alcohol
I know, we're going back there. Baking breads, mandarin orange, and butter candy. This uniquely rich, fruity
these
whiskey will delight Scotch whiskey aficionados. Malcolm, what do you think the alcohol content by volume, or the proof is, which is double the alcohol content? Malcolm said 42,
Yes.
which he cleverly thought was the meaning of life.
Douglas Adams.
So long, and thanks for all the fish. 52!
Ooh.
Whoa,
Ooh.
wrong. The numbers are real small. 51.2.
Wow.
So this is, but they're not declaring it a cask strength. So once again, they found the flavor they were looking for at a higher alcohol, knowing that they're selling to a more select, and not in a
Snobby.
arrogant, snobby kind of way, but that the price point would put some folks off. And it's not an extreme price point. Glenmorangie's, rarely do we do this. Glenmorangie's for their private or their Legends series generally are about 100 to 120 a bottle. So it certainly is expensive, but not prohibitive in the way, because you'll find bottles, well north of that. Even releases that have a high number of bottles attached, you can find for $300, $400, $500. These releases, though a bit pricey, really give somebody an opportunity to taste a number of different flavors. We've said we like the Glenmorangie range.
Yes.
You know, I've got some favorite bands, and one of my favorite bands, not favorite, but a band that, played a role in my youth as a younger man, and you too were a younger man, Mal.
Pete Townsend?
Well, really, The Who, what is it? Is it Slip Kid? What is the name of that song? I got my boots on, I'm going off to the Civil War. That is a great song, and Pete Townsend was just known for his windmill cranks, and so recently we talked to our film crew about how long the videos have been going, and we asked them to give us their best Pete Townsend so that we would know to keep it moving.
That was pretty good.
And we just got a Pete Townsend, everybody, and but we did tell the crew that we might not care. So the Glenmorangie Allta. Now, you ready?
Yes. Golden in color. Clear bottle.
51.2% private edition, available at the store. This is number 10. I'm not sure how many they're up to now. I don't have any way to find a date on this without looking. I think the Allta is several years old in terms of its release. And so either they're releasing a version every year, or this is several years old. Either way, I don't think I bought this in the last 2 or 3 years. All right, here we go. So this could be the 2017 Allta or the Allta from 2017.
Nice sound.
Subdued, little bassy.
Yep.
It didn't get pushed out. I have felt the bottle. We talked about that before. One time I felt the bottle expand.
Yep.
Obviously that's probably unlikely, but there was such force. Fragrant. Light.
Yes. I concur.
All right.
Let's pour some glasses.
Clear glass.
Yep.
Light color. Should be lighter as it comes out, just due to the less amount of volume. Fair. We're gonna give me a hard time about
No,
my
actually,
heavy pour?
I think I made out like a bandit.
All right. The Glenmorangie Allta, 51.2%, private edition, available at liquor stores. I'm not sure about currently or not.
Even smells good.
Fragrant and light is what I feel. Wow. It really noses that way too. Mal's ahead of me here, and so he may dispute me having had a taste, but the nose, both on the cork and in the wider lipped glass, really maintained this lightness, this fragrant, almost as if this is going to be not too bad.
The nose actually betrays what you end up getting. Accurate. That's unbelievable. So I'm going to have to talk about what it tastes like after another taste, because it is just so substantially different in the expectation from this light, fragrant cork and this light, fragrant nose on the glass to this. It's almost like maybe round one against Mike Tyson. You're sitting in the ring, you feel like we're going to start to feel each other out. We'll do a few of these, check our distances and arms, and Kapow.
And 46 seconds, the fight's over.
Yeah.
This didn't knock me out, but this showed up so quickly, so
Explosively.
in comparison to the nose on both the cork and the glass.
Yes.
Neither one of us struggled or choked on it.
No.
So if you want to talk about any flavors, I'm going to have another taste now, repositioning myself for what I'm trying to experience, what I'm looking for, and I'm going to remind us. Hints of baking bread, mandarin orange, and buttered candy.
Okay, so I got the buttered candy. I'm not sure about the baking bread. Definitely get the buttered candy. The way this goes is it basically lulls you into a false sense of security, and then it just, and that sweet taste comes right through, and then it's brought on with some heat at the very end.
The butter candy for me, and I appreciate that you're finding it, and it's right there in the front. And so then I spent some time trying to establish what would baking bread taste like in a whiskey. And I've made a bunch of my own bread over the years, and so I'm like, what would baking bread be like in a glass of whiskey? And so I'm not really finding that, but I'm not even sure what I would be looking for, so I was just hoping for a natural connection to that experience, that aroma, that taste in the kitchen when the loaf has been in the oven for a period of time and, really, spreading through the house. That, I didn't find that.
Yeah. But there is a lot more to this. Even in that sweet candy, there's a little bit of aftertaste after it.
It's something not sour,
Nope.
but on that end of the scale, not on the sweet end of the scale. It's like a moxie, right? A cola without sweetness. And I'm not going to call this a cola, but it's whatever that flavor is, absent its natural sweetness or its usual sweetness.
I can give you that. I mean, it definitely is an interesting taste, and like I said, that, and it's not bitter, but that taste after you get that initial punch of sweetness, maybe peppery. I'm not quite sure.
I can't. Yeah, peppery's a hard one because I've certainly drank some peppery whiskeys. It really. I think I want to go back to that idea of a moxie, right? A cola without the sweetness. It's a whiskey absent the sweet on that aftertaste. It's like it's got the butter candy, it's got this transitional thing, and then the sugar's gone.
Yeah,
and it's like the remaining flavors minus that butter candy.
It is very tasty, though.
I'm certainly not concerned about its quality, but I agree with you. What is that that's happening? Oh yeah, this book is unreliable. This is right here. We're gonna get a Pete Townsend here in a second.
Yeah.
He says it's time for the second song, everybody.
All right, so give me a piece of ice.
How about Who Are You?
Who are you?
Everybody's favorite. He look at that guy's got two guitars on. He's just swinging both his arms. So again, don't experience our hesitations as a negative, but rather as a genuine exploration of like what's going on with this whiskey. And so sometimes we'll have these spontaneous, oh my gosh, that is fantastic. But some of that is personal preference and some of that is the ease of the flavors present. This one seems to have a flavor or a profile that is not so present, but yet dominating the second half of the glass.
Yeah, even with the ice in it, the ice actually mellows up the front part of it rather significantly, but you still get that, whatever that taste is after the spike of sweetness. And I can't figure it out.
I just went with a drop of water.
I can't figure what that is. I'm lost.
Almost like, again, like a black licorice. And
Yeah.
not a black licorice, but in the sense that black licorice is so much different than all the other licorice.
Yeah, this is it's a conundrum because you really think it's going to be something else based on the smell. You think you're going to get this eased in.
Oh,
boom,
sure, we've
go
given up
through.
on that, right? It smells like something completely different than we're discussing with its taste.
But
Completely.
the taste is so up and down, and it happens so quickly that you don't really get a chance to really reflect on either side of this. It just gets sort of mangled in together, but at the same time, you still can pick up that spike of sweetness, and you have that sweetness on the front end, and then you have this sort of, I don't even want to call it bitter.
No,
I can't describe what the
it's
what
a
the
flavor
taste is.
missing its sugar. And maybe that's part of the definition of bitter, but it's a flavor missing its sugar.
Yeah.
You know, you said something that made me think about its name. And I don't know what the Allta means, and we'll look it up later, and maybe we'll come back to you or somebody will post it up on the Facebook page. But you just made part of the discussion about the flavors, and you were like, all together.
Oh, that
The
would be clever.
The Allta, all together.
That would be clever.
That would be clever. It certainly is some of what we're talking about. A recognizable flavor, a less recognizable flavor that's related, as if it's blended all together.
So just to add a new little part to this, and I won't do it every time, but I'm going to do it this time because this is a rather interesting drink. Would you drink this again?
Don't take the hesitation as a no. I think I was trying to find the occasion that I would reach for this versus of course I would drink it if it was poured for me, if it was this random circumstance, but I read Malcolm's question as if, when would I reach for this as my drink? And I think if I had to choose, I might talk about before dinner as if this is the beginning of something and I have more coming. So I would have a pre-dinner drink, knowing I was going to have this rich, nice, delicious dinner, as if I were somewhere for an occasion. And there were going to be after-dinner drinks that were going to be different, that were going to complete the sweetness that this one seems to start and not finish.
Yeah, all right. I'm good with that. Like I said, I think this would be it's an interesting drink. It's definitely something that I would not have thought it was going to happen.
Yeah, very different than I expected. So why don't we, I'm going to just check the board, which has got all our notes and information. We're moving on up. Just like, so I happened to watch a subsequent movie film. And one of the little Easter eggs was the reference to Philip Drummond III. Now, those of you who would know who Philip Drummond is would appreciate the upward mobility of all folks, great and small. So, Tonight we're going to have a Ukrainian cheers, which is an informal way of suggesting glasses up or cheers. So it is the classic cheers, without the touching of the glasses, but can include them. And it has a component to it that is almost like shot, 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 or any other number of repetitive, exciting
Chug, chug, chug.
alliterations that are for the young folks. And this series occurred because we're no longer in that club now.
No, that club left us a long time ago.
We would probably look pretty out of place with
However, no, I'll just leave it.
Not that we wouldn't still go for it. But, so in Ukrainian, or the language called Ukrainian, yeah?
Correct.
Correct? Okay, it's good. Good to have the words right. An informal cheers is budmo. However, and Mal and I will toast you with the budmo, but you will also learn in that moment
I want to be the one on the right hand side.
that budmo, when yelled out loud in a crowded place with a bunch of young folks, elicits a reply, and you are to do it 3 times. So, here we go. Budmo!
Do it again with some fight.
Oh, he's suggesting I didn't raise my voice. Budmo!
Hey!
Budmo!
Hey!